At the beginning of the story, some children were searching for mines by crawling on the sand with the help of a rod. Then one boy opened the lid of the mine, took out its fuse and defused the mine. But then another boy opened the mine and suddenly there was a huge explosion. Actually, these children were German prisoners who were captured in the war. Now the war was over, but millions of mines laid by Germany were still present in Denmark, due to which the common people were in great danger. Now the government has decided to remove the mines. Soon the Danish soldiers started training the children, in which they were taught how to find mines and stop them. After this, each boy was sent to the mine room for practice. First of all the boys. He went inside and opened the lid of the mine very carefully and took out the fuse and closed the mine, but when the other boy went inside, his hands started trembling due to fear, but still he managed to close the mine, and finally everyone heaved a sigh of relief, but the boy who went later failed to close the mine and died on the spot. This created fear in the minds of the children because any mine can take their lives at any time. Well, after the completion of the training, 11 boys were sent to Denmark. They were brought to the west coast where Sergeant Cal would be their boss. Cal had a lot of hatred for the Nazis in his heart. He saw that these children were only 1,314 years old, but for a man like Cal, who hated the Nazis very much, these children were just there were tools to find mines. Then Cal pointed towards the middle and said that there are 45,000 mines buried here. He ordered that everyone will have to find 6 mines in an hour and close them so that after 3 months they can return to their homes. After this the children started working and started crawling and slowly locating the mines with rods. Suddenly a boy named Ernest found a mine, and with the help of his training, he defused the mine. Similarly, his first day was very good because there was no loss of life. In the evening, they filled cloth bags with grass and made mattresses so that they could sleep at night. Then at night, everyone talked together and told what they would do after returning home. But one of the boys was absolutely sure. It was not certain that he would ever be able to go back home, but all the other children still had hope. After this we see that those children were not even given proper food. Then Ernest saw a little girl playing and he talked to her. When he started doing this, suddenly the girl's mother came there and immediately asked her daughter to come back home. During this, Ernest secretly stole a piece of bread from the girl's toy and later shared it with his brother and ate it. But Carl imprisoned all the boys in a wooden house, and the door was closed with wooden bars so that the children could not run away even if they wanted to. Well, the next day the boys went to work again, but today they were walking slower than yesterday because they had not got even a single grain to eat. Then in the evening a boy named Chumen came to Cal and asked him when they would get food. Then Cal said that no German person would get food before Cal said that it did not matter to him whether the German prisoners died of mines or of hunger. He scolded the boy and sent him back. But at night a boy named Helmut could not control his hunger and he started looking for food on wooden planks. Then the next morning Ernest developed fever and was feeling dizzy, but despite this, he did not allow him to rest even for a moment and asked him to start work right away. Name William, one of William's boys, also became ill and vomited. Skomon was on his way to see him when suddenly there was a huge explosion in which both William's arms were blown off. The poor guy was in pain and said that he should go back to his home. Then Ernest started shouting and pleading for help, but the woman from the nearby farm also quietly closed her door. Meanwhile, Cal also remained sitting inside despite hearing the cries of the children. But William's screams were so painful that Cal, the stone-hearted man, also could not stop himself, and he went out and gave an injection to William. Then he realized that these prisoners were not only naughty soldiers but also small children. After this, he himself picked up William and took him to the hospital, while the other children also fell ill. When Cal came to know about this, he interrogated everyone. Then Helmut revealed that he could not control his hunger last night, and he stole some grains from the nearby field and distributed them among his friends. Then when I asked the farm lady about those grains, she told that they had spoiled due to insects. Saying this, she started smiling because the enemy German soldiers had become sick after eating those grains. Well, then Karl told all the children he was asked to continuously drink seawater so that the worms would come out through vomiting. After this, he bathed all the children and later went to the hospital to see William. But then he came to know that shortly after reaching the hospital, William died. Hearing this, Karl felt very remorseful because he had kept the children hungry. Then in the evening he stole bread from the military base and brought it for the children and kept kept the bread at the door. As soon as the children saw the food, they immediately pounced on him because he was hungry for many days. Later, when Cal met the children to calm their mind, he told them that William's health was gradually improving. All the children were very happy to hear this, but now due to William's absence, the children would have to defuse 8 mines in an hour. Yet the children happily got busy working and started making plans to return home. These children had no complaints or anger with anyone because they knew that they were helping the other German soldiers. They are compensating for the mistakes they have made. Then suddenly at night some Danish soldiers, after getting drunk, attacked the children, and those poor boys could not do anything due to fear. When some boys tried to respond, the soldiers opened fire on them. He pointed and was about to open fire when at the last moment Karl came there, and said that if these children were killed then he would have his men to stop the mines. Hearing this, the soldiers left the children, but before leaving, Lutane said to Karl so that they should not forget the atrocities of the German soldiers during the war. Then Karl said that these children do not even know what happened at that time. Well, the next day, Scum laid a double mine. In fact, he laid this mine only for those who found it. Then Schumann came and told everyone to be careful of this kind of mine, but no one heard his voice. Here Werner was very happy after defusing one mine that suddenly there was a terrible explosion in the double mine. As soon as Ernest, when he saw this, he ran towards his brother crying, but his brother was already in tears. Soon Karl came there, but he too could not do anything now. Ernest was deeply shocked by his brother's death, and poor Barbar was telling him that he had to go back and find his brother. Then Karl gave him a sleeping injection and quietly sat beside him. Then he realized that this was not a Nazi soldier but a desperate child who had lost his life before his eyes. Well, later Cal called Kuman and told him about William's death. Schockum said that he already knew this. He said that all the boys just wanted to get rid of all the brains as soon as possible and go back to their home. But now he was sure that nothing like this was going to happen. Then Karl said something which he had never said till date. He said, "Don't worry, everything will be fine soon." That night Karl did not close the door, and the military himself went to the base to get bread for the children. Then the next day the children were very happy because time had allowed them to rest, and then they played football together on the beach. Now things were slowly getting better when suddenly there was an explosion nearby, due to which everything changed. Cal's dog was killed in this blast while he was roaming in the area from where mines had also been removed. This made Cal feel that the children were betraying him. First, the Nazis killed his entire family. After this incident, hatred once again arose in Cal's mind, and he again became cruel and tyrannical. The boy who used to investigate the demined area killed Cal, told him that actually all the mines had been removed from that area, but Cal did not listen to him and punished him to become a dog. Then he threw a ball and asked him to bring the ball in the form of a dog and forcefully ordered him to bark like a dog. Now Cal once again asked to check the area, but one of the boys protested against it. Then Cal got angry and slapped him several times. After this, all the children started walking in that area, arm in arm, risking their lives. Later, the boy who was slapped by Cal got fed up and ran away from there, but Scum said that after defusing all the mines, he would be sent home. And the next day the woman from the farm, suddenly she came running to the children's house and started crying and asking them for help. When the boys immediately ran out with her, they saw that their daughter had gone to the mine area while playing. Then Scum immediately lay down on the ground and started searching for mines. When Cal came back, he saw that the house was completely empty. He thought that all the children had run away, but when he reached the beach, he saw that they all were trying to save the little girl. Then suddenly Ernest walked straight towards the mines area, went to the girl. Then Ernest picked up the girl and handed her to Scum, and himself stood there numb. Everyone called him back, but he smiled and moved towards the minefield. Suddenly there was an explosion in which he lost his life, and finally he went to his brother. When he reached there, seeing this, even a strong boy like Scum broke down inside. Then Karl went to him and said that he will return to his home soon. Later, looking towards the sea, Karl started thinking about all those innocent children who lost their lives. Well, soon 3 months passed, and the work of removing the mines was now complete. Now the remaining 6 children were ready to go home. They were all happily talking about their future while loading the mines into a truck. Suddenly there was a huge explosion which filled the sky with clouds of black smoke. Karl and he ran along with him and reached there, but 2 boys had died. Finally, the remaining 4 boys got into the truck, but there was no sign of happiness on on their faces. After this, instead of being sent home, he was sent to another minefield where 72,000 mines were laid. Then he realized that all the promises of returning home were false. When Call got the news of this, he was also shocked. He talked to his seniors. They tried their best to send the children back home, but alas, to no avail. Then later, when the leader of the new area received a letter, he called the same 4 children out and sent them in a truck. They did not know where they would be sent now, but suddenly Call lifted the cover of the truck, and the children saw that they were at the border. Ultimately, after leaving the children at the border, he fulfilled his promise to take them home. Actually, Call had sent a fake order due to which all 4 of them were released. Being a soldier, perhaps he did wrong, but as a human being, the goodness of time worked to erase the bitterness of war, so don't blame India and Pakistan in the comments. We were all the same. It is okay to fight governments. See you in the next video.